If you want access to additional videos you cannot find here on YouTube, please consider becoming a member of the Patreon. Link is in the description for my current Patreon members. Please be on the lookout over the next couple of days or so. My really big Shannon Sharp video is coming up soon. Alright, so if you've been following this channel long enough, then you should know that the #1 goal of this channel is to expose evil and pursue truth. You know, regardless of where that takes us, we follow the trail of wherever truth takes us. Whether that means exposing a culture or a subculture of a community. Like, I have a video called "This Is Why I Stopped Following Quote Unquote Black Culture." Yes, it's not the entire black community, but there are many things in the so-called black community that has become degenerate. It's celebrated. You're made fun of if you are a fan of certain things like education and speaking proper. You're accused of trying to be white or trying to have close vicinity to white people. These are the things that I've disavowed and I've spoken out against on this channel. But it also means that we speak out about other things that play a role, like government and government's role in aiding in these things, creating the infrastructure for these things. We speak out about the music industry and these artists and what they're into and the degeneracy that they push onto the people. But we also go deeper than that. We talk about the people that own these record labels. We talk about the spiritual side of things, what they're actually up to, what they're promoting, what people don't understand, so we can open people's spiritual eyes so that they can look at this world differently. Because again, everything we see is temporary. Everything we can't see is eternal, meaning that it's spiritual. So this is a spiritual fight that we on. One of my biggest pet peeves is to see someone that seems to understand that there are evil things in this world that we have to speak out against. Like, if you're a so-called black American, then you speak out against things that we see in our community that's hurting our community. It's counterintuitive, it's counterproductive. And it's one of the most mind-blowing things in the world when I see a person that calls that out, but then in the next breath or in the same breath, they're speaking out against people that criticize a foreign government and calls these people Jew haters. If you've been watching my most recent videos, when we've been speaking about the Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein thing, we understand just simple research, basic research tells you that Donald Trump is controlled. Basic research leads you to believe that something else is going on with our federal government, our presidents, and there's a pattern that's happened over time. So I'm going to do something on this channel I've never done before. I'm going to ask you all, and by asking, I'm saying my immediate supporters. I'm going to ask you all to give me a pass for this video because I know we have much more important things to talk about, but I got time today. We're going to do something on this channel I've never done before, and I'm going to publicly call out another YouTuber. I don't know his real name, or maybe this is his real name, I'm not sure, so forgive me if this is your real name, but the YouTube channel is called Aquarius Wave or something to that extent. And this person has almost 2,000 videos on their channel. Most of it is bashing the hood culture, which is a subculture of the black community, and goes out his way to bash them. Well, he's also been making a lot of videos recently, and he's free to make any video that he wants and talk about whatever he wants, but it's my job and I'm free to criticize it. And this person has been talking about anybody, he won't say the words, but essentially those that are critical of Israel and how we're $37 trillion in debt. Despite being $37 trillion in debt, we're still sending billions of dollars to Israel a year, which is not America first, which makes no sense. Anybody that criticizes that and point out the hypocrisies when it comes to Israel are Jew haters. Coming from a YouTube channel that has hundreds and hundreds of videos criticizing hood culture of black people. So that means, by your logic, you're racist. You hate black people. Because you're not even criticizing a black government. You're criticizing a subculture of the black community. Let's flip that. And let's say everything that you've been saying for the past however long you've had your channel, the hundreds of videos that are redundant and repetitive because you're only focusing on the low-hanging fruit because black people are so easy to criticize and you can get away with it because you're a black American. All you've been doing is criticizing them. So let's flip that and say you criticize a subculture of the Jewish community. You would never do that because by that definition, by your own logic, that would be considered anti-Semitic, anti-Semitism. So we're going to react to this guy's channel or video in particular, and we're going to listen to the incredible mental gymnastics that you have to perform, because I believe, in my personal opinion, everything I'm saying is alleged, I believe that this person is being paid. He's probably not being paid much, but he's being paid to spew these hypocritical double standard points that literally make no sense and are easily, by verifiable information, Debunk. Hit that like button on your way in, man. Let's check this out together.
Charlie Kirk recently had a Turning Point USA event where individuals such as Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith were keynote speakers, or at least involved in some of the discourse and even debate.
I'm just going to go ahead and pause right now and say, listen, whenever you hear a person, especially somebody who claims to have conservative values, when you hear them giving somebody nicknames, insulting nicknames, or ad hominem attacks, that's your strategy. That's literally leftist tactics, bro. Focus on the substance. Focus on the content of what they're talking about. Focus on the points that they're making and debate the tactics, debate the ideology. Why are you giving them insulting nicknames? It means that you're buying into online media narratives that is not working, and you can't actually argue the actual points. You're already setting yourself up for failure.
Like the one that took place between Dave Smith and a man who actually knew what the hell he was talking about. Therefore, dismantling this dude, Dave Smith, to the absolute tiniest of molecules.
This person is a liar, and don't take my word for it. What he's talking about is Dave Smith, who is Jewish, by the way. Dave Smith, because people tend to care about that type of stuff. Dave Smith went on to Turning Point USA and debated this other guy by the name of Josh, who is pro-Israel. And if you just go and watch this debate, don't take my word for it. Imagine LeBron James, who is a great, regardless of how you feel about him, he's a great basketball player. LeBron James playing one-on-one against who's a good basketball player, but we wouldn't say a great basketball player. Lance Stevenson, pretty good guy, can hoop, right? He's a walking bucket. Let's say LeBron James and Lance Stevenson play one-on-one. Lance Stevenson going to 15 points. Lance Stevenson will probably score maybe 2 or 3 points. 4 points if he's lucky. But if LeBron James puts his head down and goes to the rim, there's nothing Lance Stevenson can do. Dave Smith was LeBron James. Lance Stevenson was Josh. Sure, you probably got 2 or 3 points in, but we're going to 15. You got blew out. You got annihilated. This person, this guy right here says, no, that's not what happened. What happened instead was Dave Smith got beat. Go and watch the debate. This is how you can tell if somebody won a debate or not. Josh got beat so badly that he did what this guy right here is doing. He only insulted Dave Smith, the person. He didn't actually deal with what Dave Smith was talking about, like the genocide that Israel is committing against Gaza. He's not talking about all the incredible points he made about Bibi Netanyahu and all the war crimes he's literally wanted for. No, he's not talking about that. He's talking about Dave Smith and he's anti-Trump. Hey, crowd that's pro-Trump, don't you hate that? He's against Trump. Bad him. Say bad things about him. This dude right here says Dave Smith lost the debate. Go and watch the debate. Easy way to tell is that pay attention to what the YouTube comments are saying under Charlie Kirk's video. Not the crowd's reaction at a Turning Point USA event where they're literally there to support Charlie Kirk and they adhere to his ideologies.
He broke this man down to a subatomic level.
Lying.
There was some backlash that came as a result of mostly what Tucker Carlson, put some respect on his real name, had to say about the you-know-whos.
And what do you mean by Tucker Carlson? It's kind of hard to even say it that way. They claim that Tucker Carlson is being funded by Qatar because he's been criticizing Israel. Listen to this. An American is giving another American a nickname for criticizing a foreign government, for criticizing our politicians for adhering and putting Israel first in a lot of policies. Is it not absurd, y'all, that we are Americans, we live in America, and they have laws in America that you cannot criticize the Israeli government? Is that not mind-blowing? He's giving another American a nickname for not being happy about that. What are you talking about, dude?
Give you a hint. Starts with the J, ends with the ooze. It's the Jews. It was the Jews, right? He stood up there and essentially ranted on about subjects such as if you have served in a military other than the United States military, IDF, the Jews, then you should be kicked out of America. You should lose all your rights as an American citizen. You should no longer be a citizen.
I 100% agree. What's controversial about that? If you're an American, you should only have an allegiance to America. Brother, he's not even arguing in favor of America here. What are you talking about? And he says IDF, the Jews. No, bro. He's talking about any of them. including Israel. If you are America, you should be focused on America. You can wish everybody else the best. You don't want anything bad to happen to them. You wish them well, but we should be, well, we are $37 trillion in debt in this country. You spend so much time criticizing the black community. What about the billions of dollars we send in other places? We could be using that to fix the black community, to fix other places. How is it a bad thing? IDF to Jews. IDF don't mean Jews, bro. It means Israel. Stop saying that. Yes, there are Jews that live there. But this argument is such a low level argument, bro. Like, you have nothing else than to say he hates Jews. No, he doesn't. You have nothing else than to say Candace Owens hates Jews. Candace Owens has Jews working for her that help her put those videos together. But she hates Jews because she's criticizing the Israeli government? And don't even put me in a position to necessarily defend Candace. I agree with Candace's politics. But yes, there's going to always be something you disagree with every person, including Candace Owens. What is this person talking about here?
And of course, he was speaking in general, right? If you went to serve in, let's say, Ukraine, same thing should happen. But, if you're a Jew and you did that, you should basically get the hell out of here. Also referenced that the reason why the client list hasn't come out is because definitely Jeffrey is Mossad. Now, that at an individual level is what we would call defamation, right? If the Mossad was an actual individual, that claim would be defamation based.
He's comparing an agency to a person. This is what I mean. I'm not going, this is the only video I'm going to do this, y'all. I promise y'all. I've commented on this dude's videos maybe 5 or 6 times. And for those of you that don't know, when you have a similar size channel as someone else, if you comment on their videos, they get a special notification that alerts them that said person has commented under their video. Doesn't automatically mean that they see the comment. I personally believe this guy has seen my comment. I've publicly challenged this guy to a debate because he's spewing lies, he's spewing nonsense, and it's infuriating. It's infuriating because I'm like, don't you have any integrity, bro? Don't you have any integrity, bro? And each one of my comments has went unanswered. He won't respond to the comments. Okay, so this is the result you lead me to. I'm just going to dismantle you and embarrass you on YouTube.
Upon there being zero. Nevertheless, he continued to go on. And people were upset to the point where I'm talking about Gen Zers. Kids were leaving the event, standing up and getting the hell out of that building.
So let me make sure I understand this right. This guy's logic. He's not the smartest. He's not the sharpest crayon in the box. I think we can all understand that. But we have to debunk nonsense. His logic here is, hey, a crowd full of people at a Turning Point USA event, which is literally a conservative base, and a lot of them are Zionist leaning because Charlie Kirk is pro-Israel. So a lot of them have fed into and believe many of the same things that Charlie Kirk believes. Regardless if you agree with it or not, this is the crowd that's there. So if you're at this event, not another event with a different crowd, you're at a Turning Point USA event. If you're at this event and you're saying bad things about Israel, not America, you're critical of another government that they have been led to support because they've been led to believe what the Bible has said about Israel, which is not the current state, occupied state of Israel, by the way. Just read your Bible, you will know that. This person says the reason you know that what Tucker Carlson was saying was so bad was because those people got up and left. Come on, bro.
And it was interesting for me because on one side, I know how Gen Z is being radicalized in a lot of this, Jew hatred sort of nonsense, which most people don't realize is actually a very anti-American sentiment. Why? Because it is anti-Western sentiment. The same people who are pushing those narratives are the very same people who want to see America destroyed.
This dude he tries to sound so intelligent, bro, and he's just not. He's just not. He comes off to me, and I think a lot of people in the black community will be able to tell this. He comes off as if he's acting for the camera. One thing I take pride in on my channel is I think I come off as pretty genuine. I don't use a script. I got 660 plus videos on this channel, and I don't use a script. Like I speak from notes at times, but I don't read from a script. This guy is sitting there trying to sound so intelligent. He says Jew hatred. Who hates Jews, bro? They're critical of the government. They're critical of Jeffrey Epstein. Simple research will tell you all the connections. Jeffrey Epstein literally has ties to Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. His name is Robert Maxwell. Robert Maxwell is not a conspiracy theory. Basic verifiable research will present to you the fact that Robert Maxwell was Mossad, bro. That's Israeli government. He was Mossad. It's documented information that Robert Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, had a relationship. It's documented evidence that Jeffrey Epstein, the former prime minister of Israel, had a relationship, bro. It's documented information that Jeffrey Epstein was Jewish. He had ties to Israel. This is not a conspiracy theory. It shouldn't even be that controversial to say that.
Not just the jihadists who, say things such as death to America, but I'm also talking about the left-wing extremists. They hold a lot of the very same sentiments. So the conversation I wanted to have today is about Charlie Kirk, or not just him specifically, but those who create platforms for individuals that they know have a hard stance on something like a Tucker Carlson does. And for me, this was a difficult sort of conclusion to get to because on one side, I'm sold out to the First Amendment. I will die and live on the First Amendment. Our right to speak freely, to share our ideas as crazy as they may be freely is what allows us to be a free society. Without freedom of speech, there is nothing else. All of this freedom doesn't exist without that first being amended, that first being the law of your land. Right? So that right there, I'm sold out to.
Right.
Nobody else can pay me a dime because so long as that right there is threatened, none of us are going to be good.
So that means that whatever you're about to say next, you should be speaking about how there are literal laws in this country that are against that says you cannot criticize the Israeli government, bro. You cannot make that. They deem that as anti-Semitic in America, bro. Not in Israel, in America. So that should be something you should be speaking about because that's literally anti-free speech.
However, I've also come to the understanding that, what is the delineation between freedom of speech and actual dangerous speech? There's a reason why you will be arrested if you yell something like fire in the middle of a theater, or if you yell, bomb
on an airplane
in the middle of a damn airport.
Right.
As you rightfully should.
Right.
Because that is a threat, an imminent threat. If you threaten somebody's life.
Right.
If you actively promote for somebody to be unalived, whatever it is, you incite those types of things. That's a step beyond freedom of speech.
Right.
So when it comes to a guy like, Charlie Kirk giving a platform to people like a Dave Smith, who I have dissected even further than he was on that debate stage, as well as a Tucker.
You would never have a conversation with Dave Smith in life because dude will shred you to pieces. If y'all have not checked out Dave Smith, a lot of you all will know who he is and y'all have heard him. He's incredible, bro. This dude is such a historian and he's fair. He talks about all the dangerous things that the Israeli government has been doing in the Middle East altogether, bro. He talks about the dangers of AIPAC, the hypocritical things that are allowed and pushed by AIPAC, which is literally a foreign lobby group, literally.
Carlson, who I've definitely gone in on, all receipts necessary to even show that he has $15 million plus of funding that has come from a backer who is, surprise, surprise, Iranian and Pakistani. It's not that I believe these people don't deserve to speak. That's never been the case with me. I believe that if you're Charlie Kirk, why are you giving them a platform? If you genuinely believe that the Jew hatred that we're currently seeing taking place on the right as much as on the left, if you believe that this is problematic and detrimental, then why would you give them this sort of platform?
So wait, let me make sure I understand something. A person that claims to have conservative values, this so-called conservative, this person right here says that if you are conservative, somebody else is conservative, but you have different opinions as it pertains to the Israeli government and us sending money to this foreign government. If you have different opinions about that, you don't wish violence on anybody. You have never wished violence on anybody. You can't provide any evidence that they've ever wished violence on anybody. But because you disagree on that, if you're Charlie Kirk, you shouldn't even talk to them. You shouldn't even have them on your platform to even speak about why they feel differently. What? That's the position of a person who's inferior in their belief system. That is you not wanting them to have an opportunity to convince other people or to expose the problems here.
Because you are platforming it. And I know that's, oftentimes used by the left. Oh, you should never platform somebody. But as I think about that, I'm like, no, there's a part of that actually makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
If I believe in your message, I am going to give your message a platform. There's a difference between, bringing something up and refuting it and contradicting it and stating how that thing is X, Y, and Z. But that's not what happened. What happened was Charlie gave this man a stage and that man a stage, let them speak freely, espousing all this sort of nonsense, and then just let it be.
He's a liar. Tucker Carlson and Charlie Kirk literally sat down together Yes, there was a monologue by Tucker Carlson, but also Tucker Carlson, Charlie Kirk sat down at the table at the same time, and they had difference in opinion. Literally, he says this while also forgetting that he just mentioned the fact that Dave Smith debated another person that was pro-Israel, bro. So there was opposing views up on the stage at the same time. And Josh got beat so badly, bro. He got humiliated so badly, not just on Twitter, because people are going to have their difference in opinions. Not just in the YouTube comment section of Charlie Kirk's video that uploaded the debate, where 95% of the comments were clowning Josh, even those that agreed with him and said he should have done a better job. But not only that, put all that to the side. Josh got beat so bad in this debate that he had to do a follow-up on Charlie Kirk's channel to elaborate further about the point he was trying to get across. And it did very badly, by the way. That's how badly he performed.
Right? He's a middle of the ground, quote unquote, guy who I feel maybe wants to be liked and accepted by everybody. This is, again, it's not a critique on simply Charlie Kirk, but it's this idea of, if you are standing with somebody who has a very specific stance on a subject like this, then I believe that you're one with them. It's like if you're a genuine racist, right, of any sort, a black racist, a white racist, you're a Farrakhan, or you're Duke. I was about to say Duke Dennis. What's the damn KK and the other K guy? If you're one of these individuals here, and you're like, if you are standing with one of these individuals, and you give them a platform to speak, to espouse their belief systems, stating them as fact, I say that you are with them.
You're a clown, bro. And I don't typically talk like this about people, but you're a clown. You say you should, about facts, right? So let's talk about the facts. It's a fact that AIPAC has a disproportionate influence on our U.S. foreign policy. It's a fact that AIPAC literally stifles criticism of Israel and Palestine policy. It's a fact that AIPAC has heavy involvement in our U.S. elections and campaign funding. It's a fact that AIPAC silences and targets people that are critical of Israel. It's a fact that AIPAC literally encourages unconditional U.S. military aid to Israel. It's a fact that AIPAC promotes hawkish policies that escalate Middle East tensions. It's a fact that Bibi Netanyahu has upset Trump a couple of times by striking and bombing Iran without telling Trump that he was going to do it. Just did it again to Syria, which reports are coming out that he upset Trump. And Trump not only does not criticize Bibi Netanyahu, but they go along with it and continue to send money and support them. When have you ever known Trump to do that? Let's talk about facts, bro. It's a fact that you are very adamant about criticizing a subculture of the black community while admitting at times that this is not the entire black community, despite the fact you have hundreds of videos doing it. But I'm going to tell you what you won't talk about. You won't talk about the fact that, yes, our music is degenerate when it comes to hip hop and things of that sort. But what you won't talk about is that it's a fact that 83% of senior executives in major Hollywood studios, talent agencies, and trade unions just so happen to be Jewish. This is not an indictment on Jewish people altogether. It's an indictment on elite Jewish people in major Hollywood studios. It's a fact that 89% of senior executives of major television broadcast networks, cable networks, and production companies just so happen to be Jewish or have Jewish spouses. That's 57 out of 64. That is not an indictment on Jewish people as a whole. It's an indictment on elite Jewish people that are over the major television broadcast networks. It is a fact that 65% of senior executives of major newspapers and news magazines are of Jewish descent or have Jewish spouses. That's 42 out of 65. It's not an indictment on all Jewish people, but it is an indictment on elite Jewish people that are over major newspapers and news magazines. It is a fact that majority of the people that are over PORN websites created and executive oversee these companies are of Jewish descent. It's not an indictment on all Jewish people, bro, but that stuff is verifiable information. So you can look at something like you can look at the black community, you can see something that you don't appreciate or you don't agree with, and you just call it out. But the sad part is that's not even the points that these people have been making. These people have been strictly talking about the Israeli government, and they've been talking about Bibi Netanyahu, who's, by the way, wanted for war crimes, and the people in Israel, a lot of people in Israel don't even like and agree with him. They think that he's a criminal. That's a fact, dude. It's a fact that what Israel is doing, by definition, like literally by definition, is a genocide. Having the excuse or claiming that, hey, we're only unaliving all these women and children despite it being tens and tens of thousands since 2023 alone, your justification is they're using them as human shields. That's like if someone grabbed your mother, held a gun to your mother's head, and the police said, you know what? We're not going to even negotiate or attempt to negotiate with this so-called terrorists. Shoot both of them, blow both of them up. You wouldn't like that. You wouldn't appreciate that. You wouldn't even understand that. What are you saying here, dude? I know y'all don't normally see me this passionate, bro, but when I see people like this that get on here and spew lies, they make these low-level IQ arguments. They try to sound intelligent, but they're also ducking smoke, because I'm calling y'all for a debate, bro. Accept my request. My email is not hard to find. You comment on one of my videos because you've seen my comments. I will respond, bro. Let's do this publicly. Stop lying. If you're going to go after the black community the way that you do, hundreds and hundreds of videos, but then you're going to go out your way and call criticism of the Israeli government and how America should not be sending all this money to them and let them do their own thing, which I 100% agree with, because we got enough problems here at home. Our house is tearing up. It's in terrible shape, but we're still sending most of our money somewhere else. You criticizing them and calling that Jew hatred. What are you talking about? That logic doesn't work. Accept the invitation, bro. I want all the smoke. Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.